Hello all, how are you doing? I hope I am audible. Okay, now we can start with the later part of the functions. Do you all remember that what we did last time? We spoke about the functions, right? The different types of functions, to be very frank, the system defined functions and the user defined functions, right? These are the two types. And then later on we spoke about what are the user defined functions. So can you or can anybody quickly write down in the chat that what all the keywords we have gone through when we spoke about the user defined functions? Or can anybody please tell me the difference between system defined and user defined function firstly? Because just the class is started. Can anybody please write down or can speak? What are the different types of functions? The built-in functions or the system defined functions and the user defined functions, right? So what is the difference between them? Okay, Roshan, len, print, built-in. And how would you define the user defined functions? How would you explain the user defined functions? Can anybody tell me? We haven't learned the user defined functions last time. Haven't we learned the user defined functions last time, or have we done them? We have done them, right? So how would you explain the user defined functions? Which all functions we tried last time? Do you all remember? I'll show you the Jupyter notebook. We talked about add, subtract, etc. Do you remember? Right? We spoke about that, and then you must have understood what do we mean by the user defined functions. So can anybody please tell me about it? See, you can see here, for example, I spoke to you about this, just a minute, I have just started my Jupyter notebook because it was hung. So yeah, now it is stable. Okay, so here you can see that, for example, we spoke about this add and subtract. Okay, and I told you that these are the parameters. We have to call that user defined function by def in the beginning. We have to give the indentation for the scope. Okay, and we may use return or we may not use return. So before priorly, okay, we had talked about this type of function, if you remember. Okay, for example, print me, right? And now here I am passing here this str as the string which I am saying as the parameter or the keyword, parameter or the argument, I'm sorry. Okay, it is parameter or the argument, fine. So now I am typing, I am printing here, print hi. Okay, there is a need of writing down the definition and calling the function also. Whenever you are calling a function, it's known as a driver code. Okay, and whenever you give the function with the def in the beginning, that is the definition of the function. So these two things are very, very important, right? Now, only I told you last time, even I showed it to you, that when you execute this def print b, whatever the parameter is passed and whatever the statement is written below that, it would get executed, no output. But if suppose you write down this directly, print me, then it would ask you that this is not defined before. What is the meaning of it? The calling is very important. If and only if it is defined first. Okay, so this thing we talked about. Later on, we spoke about certain other thing, something like this. Again, still without return. Here, and even I told you that under the def, you are going to give the logic. Okay, you can print the values in the calling. That's not a problem at all. Fine. But whenever you always have a doubt in the beginning, whenever you learn these things, you will always have a doubt that where to give the code or the logic, the code for the logic I meant to say. Okay. Then please keep it in mind. You are, sorry, you are going to give that particular code for the logic which is required to be executed, okay, under the def. So here what is happening, x equal to 1 has been given, okay, the parameter is passed as x, fine. If x mod 2 equal to 0, it would be even, otherwise it would be odd. So we have used under this particular definition of the function if and else. And then we are calling this particular function below, this is the call even odd, this is the call even odd. Once 2 would get executed, it would be even, but if I am saying 3, then it would be odd. If suppose I change the sequence, okay, not necessarily the first is even means I'm supposed to give even in the beginning. No, not like that. So what is going to happen? It will show me the odd first and then the even. Okay, so according to the condition it is going to get executed, but how is the sequence or how is this particular thing getting performed? It is going to check for what is a function given. Okay, won't worry about how many arguments are there. It would come down to the calling, okay, the same function is given or not. Yeah, same name is given. Again, it would go back to the argument, how many arguments, whether argument is there or not, whether parameter is there or not. If there, how many? There is only one. Again, it would come down and check, okay, one is given. Even I showed you last time that, last time in the sense on Tuesday, that if I pass more than one argument, and if the only one argument is passed in the definition, it would not work, and vice versa. Okay, so here 5 would be checked. Okay, and then 5 mod 2 equal to 0. No, it is not. It will come to else. And again, that even odd it will see as the calling one. 2 would be taken. 2 would be substituted here. 2 mod 2 equal to 0. Yes. So print even. That way it is going to get executed. Okay, and then later on we spoke about the return statement. Again, giving return is not essential, but it's a good habit. Why so? Because whenever we are executing this def add a comma b, okay, return a plus b. Okay, but please keep it in mind, whenever I am saying add, obviously it would be a plus b only. But here this return would be something, it will need some location where to get returned. For example, if suppose you are standing in front of me and you ask me that, madam, give me this particular thing, I will return it back to you. Obviously, you are going to put your hands in front of me opened and then I'm going to give that particular thing to you. Right? So this is also, so that's whenever you are saying that you are opening your hands in front of me, okay, that's a location. Here also this is the location, sorry, address, okay, and then returns that particular value which would be returned, it would be stored in address, and this add would be the value of the output of add, whatever 2,3 or whatever 5,6, okay, it would get stored here in address and it will get printed. So that's about return. Then later on, do you remember I spoke to you that yes, we can execute the list also along with our functions. Here what is happening, def modify my list. Okay, so here this, because I have told everything about the functions and there were no doubts last time, so I will just proceed further. Okay, I hope that's okay. Otherwise you can please write down in the chat. I will see the chat after say 10 minutes once I complete this particular thing. Okay, so def modify and then my list. I can pass not necessarily only the single variable, say 2 or 3 or maybe Python or high or such type of words or strings. I can pass the list or tuple also, or maybe the dictionary also for that matter. Okay, so here what is happening, modify is the function which is written by me. Okay, this is user defined function and my list is called, sorry, my list is passed. This my list has been given in the modify. Now you might have a doubt why this mylist has been given here, because it is a part of the calling function. So before calling the function, you need to assign that particular value to the variable. And what is the value to the variable? 10, 20, 30 is assigned to my list. And then modify my list would be called. Okay, it will come here, print this changes a past list into this function, and then I'm using append. What is happening here? I'm using the built-in function of list into the user-defined function. Okay, so this is user-defined function, but this is the built-in function. Got it? So whenever I am going to execute this, you can see here, this changes a pass list into this function. They are appended 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, and that would be passed as the list inside list. We have done this already, if you remember. Okay, and we can see the output as 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Then I spoke to you, I had spoken with you all about this main menu program. This is also very, very important to learn whenever you do the functions, because why are we doing functions? Why are we learning them? Because we want to execute the modular programming. So I told you last time, suppose you want to calculate the area. Okay, then the area of rectangle is possible, area of circle is possible, and area of say square is also possible. Accordingly, you will have to take the number of variables from the user. If suppose you take 2 variables maximum, then area of all of them would get calculated. Now you might have a doubt. Area of circle, whenever the radius would be required. Area of the rectangle, whenever I am talking length and breadth would be required. Whenever I am talking about area of a square, the side would be required. But finally, the 2 variables would be useful. If suppose I ask you to write down those programs, you will have to give in the area of circle 1 variable, rectangle 2 variables, in square 1 variable. Don't you think? And you are going to execute the steps below that. So it would take time. The performance wise, if you think about how much time it took time to execute, okay, it will take a lot of time. Okay, so if I can do all the things in one, can I do that? Yes. In the same manner here, we are executing this addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Even you can add mod, and so you may do that. Okay, I'll be sharing this program. So add mod. Okay, but mod is the function. Whether mod is a function in Python, you will have to check it once. Okay, I meant to say the built-in function. Okay, and the floor division. Okay, so you also add those 2 functions and execute this additionally. Okay, what is happening here? Choice equal to input, this STRs. Return integer choice. Why integer? Integer of choice. Why? Because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either of them would get returned. So it would be like this. And then those functions are called def add of xy, def sub of xy, def mult of xy, and def division of xy. And the calculation is done according to that particular problem statement. Okay. That add or subtract or multiply and divide, and then return, the values would be returned. Please keep it in mind, the values would be taken in the calling. Here somewhere my calling would start. Can you see that? Add. Below that sub. Okay. Even there is menu also. Can you see here? Def menu. How many functions are there over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Add, sub, mul, divide, and one more, that is menu. So if this menu is called, then only the below things would be called. Okay, initially loop equal to true, and while true, if it is the condition is true, then choice equal to 1 add, choice equal to 2 subtract, choice equal to 3 multiply would get executed. Okay, and if the choice is out of the scope, say 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the scope, 5, okay, then break. So if I execute this, you can see here, now you would understand this program very well. If suppose I give 5 and I give 1, Okay, it is asking for only two variables. Fine. Oh my God. Just a minute. It is asking you to execute this main menu program plays very important role in any programming language, and you should know it how to do it. Okay, so obviously the code would be shared with you in the Jupyter notebook. So if I set 2 directly, it will do 5 minus 1 is 4. Again the main menu is displayed. If I want to do 4, say for division, okay, it would do, what was that? What are my elements? Yeah, 5 by 1. 5 by 1 is 5. Okay, so 5.0. If suppose I want to come out of it, then 5. It has been exited. Okay, so in this manner, you should understand how to execute the main menu program also. Now I will ask you if suppose there are any doubts. Do you have any doubts, students? No doubts, right? Everybody has understood? Surely. Can you write down quickly in the chat? At least write down yes or no. No doubts. Yes, there are doubts. There are doubts. Yes means what? You understood? Not understood. Okay, fine. Okay. Now we will start with the later part of the functions. Okay. So what is a variable scope? There are different types of scope. We had talked about this scope thing, if you remember, long ago, when I suppose we did the functions and the conditions inside them. Okay, if you remember. So in programming, the scope of a variable refers to the region of the program where the variable is defined. So please keep it in mind whenever we are giving colon, that is the indentation, that also defines scope. That everything which is there, suppose if I am writing def, function is add, okay, after that opening and closing braces, parenthesis, okay, then after that I'm giving colon, okay, the meaning is the later part is inside that particular def. In the same manner it happens with the loops and the conditions, okay. So whenever we give something in the beginning of the code, okay, some value, some value to the variable, then it is local, then it is global. But whenever we are giving something inside that particular function or maybe loop or condition, then it is local, okay. And there are enclosing, that is non-local scope, and built-in scope. We will speak about them. So the rule is like this, okay. Firstly, the local would be taken care of. Local means inside that function or inside that loop, okay. Then enclosing, okay, then global, and then built-in. So there is LEGB rule, okay. So now we will just have a look. Here you can see x equal to 10. It is given globally. Globally means in the beginning of the code, in the beginning of the whole code. I'm not talking about the show function, okay. So here x equal to 5 is a local variable. So according to the rule, what is the resolution order? It is LEGB, okay. So first and then G later. We are not talking about E and B at this moment, okay. So x equal to 5, 5 will be printed first and then 10. Okay, so inside a function, outside function. But here local and global scope has been given. I would explain this from here and then I'll go to the Jupyter notebook. I hope that's fine. So message equal to hello global, okay, and the function is called. Fine. So here, what did I tell you? Local first, global later. Fine. So message equal to hello local, and then inside function it would be printed first, and then obviously the functions would be called, functions are defined, fine, and then they would be, so hello local would be printed first and then hello global. Okay, so this is something like local and global. So you just go to my Jupyter notebook. Okay, so here whenever we are talking about this, we can execute and we can find this out. Actually, the PPTs are very much readable. So if you don't come to the Jupyter notebook, then also they can be understandable. So now here you can see local and global scope. So I told you that the local would get executed first and then the global. Fine. You can see that this thing has been executed. But now you can see over here count equal to 0, global variable. Okay. Now we are talking about the def increment and then global count. Okay, so here what is going to happen? This count equal to count plus 1, that is 0 plus 1 inside function. Okay, inside we spoke about it last time. Give the print messages wherever possible, as many as times, so that it would be understandable for you. For example, I told you today also and last time also on Tuesday also that print me function was there. I am in print me, I am outside print me. It's better to give it. Okay, it is going to make your program more and more readable. Okay, and you will only understand if suppose the program is quite bigger. Okay, you will only understand if suppose the error comes in the later part of the code at one point of time when you will be writing down the longer programs. Okay, so global count you can give and then it will be 1 and 1. Now what has been written here whenever you say that global and local, okay, I suppose in the SharePoint all the PPTs are uploaded. You can open them if suppose you are not able to see this. Okay, you can open them in your machines also. If suppose you are working on machine or maybe you have to check how to work upon it. So here, whenever I am talking about the global keyword, this is the keyword which has been defined by Python. Allows a function to refer to and modify a variable declared in the global, that is module level scope. So this is the module. So global count. Okay, this won't give you an error because this is something like I am saying my count as a variable is globally defined. Okay, so take that. Okay, don't worry about what is locally has been given. The meaning is like that. So take the value which has been given globally. Obviously it would be taking, it would take 0. Okay, here, and then obviously count equal to count plus 1, that is 0 plus 1. Okay, and then again it would be first one is this one. Now increment is called because the definition of the function is going to do its work. It is not going to leave that, right? It is not going to skip that, right? So here it would be calling it, and then again outside function the value would be 1. Fine, but whatever is happening, the non-local keyword over here, the non-local is used in nested functions to refer to variables in the nearest enclosing non-global scope. Okay, so if suppose I am talking about def outer, okay, message equal to hi. Now there are two functions given, outer and inner. Okay, now it is saying message equal to hi. Fine, non-local message. So non-local means local variable, it is not local. Okay, so message equal to hello would be taken into consideration. Here you are going to get wherever you are inside that inner function. Okay, hello would be printed, and the later function it would also be taking, instead of message equal to hi, it would be taking hello because it is non-local. Okay, so in this manner this global and the non-local works. Fine, we would come here to the code and try to execute this. Okay, we spoke about this. Okay, so now Fine, we spoke about it. Now we are going to talk about the introduction to the recursion. Fine. Whenever we are talking about introduction to recursion, the recursion is something like the function calling itself directly or indirectly. Now, there is one day-to-day life example which is always there. For example, suppose I don't know whether you have seen the Russian boxes or Russian dolls. Okay. And here the example is also good, which is given in the yellow background. Okay. Whenever you are standing in between two mirrors, generally whenever you go to the changing rooms, okay, of maybe the malls or wherever you are buying the clothing, okay, that time there are generally the mirrors on all the sides, on all the three sides, and on one side there is a door. To the door also there can be a mirror, but then the person might be in a situation that how to find out the door, because there can be a confusion. So the door is as it is, the wooden door, okay. But on the three sides of the wall, there are mirrors, and you can find out how are you looking in the new clothing, okay. So that image is appearing to repeat infinitely, okay. There is one more thing. There are Russian dolls I was talking to you. Those dolls are in such a way that they are inside, or Russian boxes also. They are inside one another. So there is one doll in front of you, say of 5 to 6 inches, okay, or around 7 to 8 inches we can say. So there is one doll inside it, or box inside it, of say 6 inch. Inside one more 4 inch, inside one more 1 inch, or maybe 1.5 inch, something like that, okay. So you have to open that particular box, or maybe that particular doll's head, okay, and you can see another doll. Whenever you open the next doll's head, okay, there is an opening, okay, or the box. You are going to open that particular the upper part, okay. You can see another doll, and you are going to check those dolls in such a way that until you don't get anything. What is happening? You are executing the same thing again and again. Now there can be a confusion for a student or a learner for the first time. Is it same as the loops? No. The loops are different and recursion is different. Okay. The loops, what do? They are going to get executed with one step ahead, or increment or decrement. But yes, the values are increased or decreased. Okay, if I want to display Python as a word, I'm going to display P, then Y, then T, then H, then O, then N. Okay, or it can be P and then PY, PY then PYT, then PYT and PYTH, PYTH, PYTHO. Okay, here there is an incrementation and decrementation. Okay, so there is always a difference in recursion and the loops. Always keep it in mind. Okay, so let's come back to this recursive function. It is a base case, defines the stopping condition, and recursive case which automatically calls itself. Okay, so there was a movie in a few years ago, I may not remember the year, Karthik Calling Karthik. I don't know whether you have watched it. Okay, so that example generally is taken many a times by many people, okay, as the recursion. Okay, you can watch it and you can understand it. That's not a problem. So elegantly solves problem that have a naturally recursive structure like factorial, Fibonacci. Why is it like that? Because when we talk about Fibonacci, say here I have got a number 0 and then I have got a number 1. It is adding and going ahead, adding and going ahead. So 0 plus 1, 1, yes, 1. Then 1 plus 1, 2, yes, sorry, 2. Then 2 plus 1, 3, yeah. Okay, 3 plus 2, 5. So this is something like I am talking about the Fibonacci series. Factorial is something like I am taking, suppose, a factorial of 5. It is very easy to understand. Otherwise, please keep it in mind. Whenever you are calculating factorial in Python, you can't go beyond the value 3000. Because it has got the higher limit as 3000 in Python programming. If suppose you try to calculate the value of 3001, it won't get executed. You can do that. You can try that, or I will show you. Okay, if the time permits. Fine. So Here, when the factorial you are calculating, it is something like 5. If you are calculating the value factorial of 5, then 5 into 4. You are executing the same thing again, you know. Yes, you are using the loops also. Okay, but in addition to that, 5 into 4, okay, 5 into 4 into 3, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. Okay, again and again you are doing the same operation. Fine. So this is something like breaking the complex problem into smaller sub-problem. I hope you got it. Okay. So I spoke to you. Fine. Here the explanation has been given. For example, you can see the countdown. Okay, if n equal to 0, print blast off. Okay, else print n. Okay, if it is 0, fine. It would be something would be printed as blast off. Okay, but else print n. Obviously, what is n? Initially, it has been because what is n? Where is it written? The function definition is given, means calling also has to be done. Okay, in the calling, what value it is getting? It is 3. 3 would be replaced here, substituted here. Is n equal to, I mean 3 equal to 0? No, blast off won't happen. It would come to else part. 3, again it would get executed 2, again it would get executed 1, and then okay 0 whenever the value comes, okay, it will be printing blast off and not the value 0. Okay, so function is calling itself, each cell is placed on the call stack, okay, and each recursive call is treated like a new and independent function call. So they say that there are disadvantages also, but yes, advantages also. It is giving a good performance, but otherwise it's time taking, the logic can be complex, can be the disadvantages. Okay, so I'll go to the Jupyter notebook. I hope you all are getting it. Do I need to check the, okay, I don't need to check these days anything. I don't need to check whether you are saying anything because you don't say anything, no problem. Okay, so here you can see this, the prior one we understood, so I will not execute that because we have to cover many things. Here you can see this n equal to 0. No, why? Because I am substituting 5 here in the factorial recursive. Okay, so it won't be going to if currently at this moment. It will go to else. 5 into n minus 1. See, n minus 1 whenever it is getting executed, that is 4. But this function is only getting executed 5 minus 1, 4. Okay, so 5 into 4. Again 4 into 3. Then 3 into 2. Then 2 into 1. But would 1 into 0 would happen? No, in factorial 1 into 0 won't happen because everything would be 0 then. Because anything with multiplication as 0, then it would be 0. So if n equal to 0, return 1. Okay, so this is going to get executed. Yeah, I spoke to you that if suppose I am executing this import sys and sys dot get recursion limit, okay, 3000. But suppose if I try to find out the factorial of say 3001, let me execute, it will give me an error. Oh, got hung or what? Okay, it is giving error. Okay, so it's like that. It is saying something maximum recursion depth exceeded. Okay, so I told you, but this can be understood when, so sorry, just now it would be no problem. Yeah, no problem. You can see the value, big value. Okay, okay. So how would you execute import sys and sys dot get recursion limit? Okay, so it's not possible to check the factor beyond 3000. Give me 1 minute, have a look at the code. Give me 1 minute, please. Okay, I'm so sorry. Fine. So now we understood this. Any doubts? Okay, thank you. We spoke about it. Okay, we can understand this much. Okay, the code is shared with you, so not a problem. I'll just go to PPT. I told you about the recursive versus iterative comparison already. Okay. Here you can see. You can have a look at the slide. Yeah, generally, yeah, please keep it in mind that whenever we are using recursion, it is generally used when we are using the linked list or the trees. By the way, have you done any data structures? Means, do you know about the data structures? At any point of time, have you done them in your life? Okay, no problem. I told you about this. Now there are the anonymous functions. The anonymous function is a function defined without a name. Okay, they are anonymous functions, as the name suggests. Okay, and those are nothing but the lambda. Okay, lambda play very important role. Lambda functions play very important role in ML, machine learning, and MapReduce also. Whenever you are executing Hadoop programs, the programs on Hadoop, I meant to say. So in Python, anonymous functions are created using the lambda. Okay. So lambda is a keyword. Please don't give it, whenever we say it's a keyword, don't give it as a program name. We saw about the word global, local, non-local, etc. So these are also keywords. So don't give the program names, don't give them as a variable names, etc. Okay. Arguments, comma separated input parameters. Expression, a single expression, not a block whose result is returned. Where are anonymous functions used? In the map, filter, and sorted. Okay, so I will show you directly instead of executing it from here. Okay, so this is something like square equal to lambda x. This is the x is nothing but the variable. Okay, and obviously square is nothing but x into x, right? We know that very well. Okay, so print that obviously we have to pass the value also to the variable. So square equal to lambda x, square of 5, it would be 5 into 5, it would be 25, and then you would get the output. Fine. I've got some more examples for you, which generally I talk about. So you can see here, I have to tell you about the argv also. That hasn't been given in the PPT, but that's okay. That's not a problem. See, you can see here, if there are two variables, say x and y, x equal to int of input of enter x and enter y. Okay, I want to do the addition or I want to do the multiplication. Fine, I can execute both the functions together. Not an issue. I will have to just give lambda as a keyword, x comma y, and then I'm going to write it down. It is multiply, right? So I'm going to give here x into y. Okay, see the syntax properly. Okay, the syntax is something like the assignment variable, then the keyword lambda, then the variables that are used or the parameters that are passed, you can see. These are the parameters, okay? And then the calculation to be done. But please keep it in mind, use lambda when there are one line functions, one line code is required to be done. You can't use lambda at any point of time or at any moment. Okay, so now if I say here, Print addition is, I'll just copy it and I'll paste it here, and then I'll say and then what is the name that is given is mult. It's asking me the values to be given. I'll say 4 and 5. You can see that, right? So in this manner, the lambda function is executed. You can see here string equal to FI Tech computer science and lambda string. I want to just print the string, nothing else. Okay, I'll just execute it. Yeah, but here it is going to get printed something like this. Okay, so you can see one more example here. I will have to give that lambda, that FI Tech computer science, whatever I'm saying, in the double quotes. Fine. So here I'm going to call that particular function print greet. Okay, I'll have to give it in that manner, string. Okay, then we spoke about it. Yeah, no. Here both the functions are given together. One is a user-defined function, another is the lambda. Okay, you can see here this is a user-defined function. Please keep it in mind. User-defined function, once you give, it has to be called. See, it is called. It's given, right? Returning the value as y into y into y. Do I want to store it somewhere, say z equal to cube of 5? Yes, why not? I can do that too. So I can give here cube of 5. Just a minute. I'll execute the prior one and then I'll go ahead. Okay. The values are given, say 9 and 5. So 5's cube would be calculated and 9's also the cube would be calculated, but one by lambda, one by definition of the function cube. Okay, now I will try to execute this. Okay, and then I'm going to say print z. Okay, and I would say here z would do okay, you can see here the cube using UDF is 125 and this is 125. Okay, so don't think why I showed this actually. Don't think that always return y to y to y. Whenever I'm saying it has to be necessarily stored in some variable. I can print it directly like this. Got it, no? Okay, we spoke about it, not an issue. Yeah, so what are the advantages? It's concise, very easy to do. Okay, can only, yeah, limitations are can only contain a single line expression, so no multiple statements. So whenever you have a lot of statements, you can't use the lambda. Less readable when logic becomes complex. There is no name, so one can get so can't be reused, or one can get confused also. Okay. Okay. So we spoke about it. We spoke about all these things. Yeah, there is map, filter, and sorted are the three functions that run with lambda. We can see them here. Say numbers equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. They have been given in the list, and then I want to double them. So double equal to list of map of lambda of x. X is the parameter that is passed, right? And double, I wanted to double, so x into 2, common numbers. Okay, and that will be doubled. So here it will be 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, if I want to say sorts a list of tuples based on the second element using sorted. Okay, so sorted pairs, comma, key equal to lambda. We want to do it from first element. First means this 0, this first, this second. Okay, so it would do sorted. So we want to do sorting, no? So it won't go to 1 again. It would execute 2, A, 3, B, because it is in ascending manner. By default, always it is in ascending manner, the sorting. Okay, and then 1, C. Whenever you talk about the filter, you want to filter the elements in such a way that the values would be shown according to how do you want them. So I want all evens. Okay, so x mod 2. Okay, it can be printed. Lambda can be used with the list processing also. So we talked about it, to be very frank here, indirectly. Okay, I hope you all are getting it. So common mistakes and common debugging tips. Forgetting to define a base case in recursion leads to infinite calls and recursion error. Okay. Using global variables unnecessarily can make code harder to debug and maintain. Okay. Yeah, I told you, misunderstanding global versus local versus global often results in unexpected variable values. It is something like push and pull. There are many people who get confused between push and pull. When there is a door in front of you and push and pull are written in the same manner, this happens with local and global. Okay, so you have to understand what is the local and what is the global. So whatever has been given in the beginning, okay, before the course starts, it's global. And wherever it has been given inside the function, inside the loop, inside the condition, whatever is the local. Okay. Overusing lambda for complex logic reduces readability, hampers debugging, and lambda should be used for the smaller codes, one-liner codes, something like that. Shadowing variable names using same name in inner and outer scopes can cause logical variables. Okay, so something has been given to you for DIY. I'll just show you one more thing and then I'll stop. That is very important to understand. Whenever you want to give more than one variable, okay, I mean to say whenever you want to give more than one string, okay, as a parameter, fine, you can give star. Okay, this is very important. Generally, this argv is given, but not necessarily you can give your own variable. So I have given here definition var function. Var function is my function name. You can give any function name. Okay, it's a print function. Okay, print, don't give print because print is a keyword, right? But print function you can give. Print me you can give. And then star argv. So now for I in argv means what? As many as elements you want to pass. Okay, and print I. So now this var function is calling at this moment only an element as hello. So what is going to happen? Yeah, only one value is passed. So no problem. But if I write down here, something like this, def var function star argv. Star argv means as many as elements you want to pass. But you don't want to write them down as str1, str2, str3, str4 because you don't know how many of them will be there. Okay. Then for I in argv print I. So when I am going to execute this, you can see here hello, hi and sayonara. Fine. So this is also one of the very important thing which you should understand when you are doing the user defined function. So that's it from my end. I hope there are no doubts. Okay. Thank you all. Okay. Yeah, bye. All the best.